The road ahead leads straight to where the convoy was heading.
Well then, what are you waiting for? Any doubts?
So, what is The Invincible? Well, it's a next-gen exclusive adventure based on the classic hard sci-fi novel of the same name by Stanislav Lem, who perhaps more famously wrote Solaris, which was adapted into a George Clooney film about 20 years ago. This adaptation isn't quite as sexy as anything involving George Clooney, but you can't deny the allure of the expertise involved. Though it's the debut project of Starward Industries, it is a company made up of ex-devs from studios responsible for the likes of The Witcher 3, Dying Light, and The Medium, although we'll probably just gloss over that one. The point is, this is nobody's first rodeo. The people involved are seasoned creatives, and they have a lot of experience in faithfully and respectfully adapting a work of genre fiction. And that really comes through here, because one of the hallmarks of hard science fiction from the 1960s, according to my dad, not that I've read any, is that it really respects the audience's intelligence and their ability to pay attention when the going is a little slow. The Invincible deals with big, complex ideas about humanity's place in the cosmos, and frankly, whether we have the right or the ability to colonise any supposedly barren planet that we come across, whether we would have self-awareness enough to suspend our prejudices and recognise forms of life that are truly alien to us. And the thing about big, complex ideas is that they need a lot of space to be big and complex in, a lot of time to be considered. The most striking thing about The Invincible for me is just how much of the 45-minute preview build that I played was devoted to just letting me take it in with long stretches of calm, methodical, investigative gameplay. Entire minutes, for example, spent examining the contents of a black box recording and engaging in radio dialogue as the grimness of the situation is laid out for the player in a slow burn sequence that ends with a moment of peril that is probably the closest thing the demo had to a jump scare, but it was the opposite of cheap. It was a chilling moment that had been earned in every sense. Another hallmark of hard science fiction is how it strives for realism in depicting space travel and sustaining human life on other worlds. The practicality of it, the sheer amount of effort involved. You spend the whole time wrapped in a heavy spacesuit, and everything about the game's movement is designed to maintain your awareness of that fact. You can't run around the place. It takes time to climb obstacles. Operating machinery while wearing NASA oven gloves is as clumsy and plodding as you'd expect it to be. And of course, you don't have a great amount of situational awareness, given that you're perceiving the world through a big daft helmet. You can barely hear anything behind you, and you couldn't turn around fast enough to see something trying to kill you before it, killed you. And the game loves to play with this. There's a constant bubbling of tension that's maintained by the presence of an unknown danger and the knowledge that you can't do anything about it if it decides to kick off. And the fact that you're investigating the disappearance / murder / illness and mass delusion of a starship crew, littering the landscape with corpses and abandoned expeditionary equipment, gives the whole thing a really oppressive atmosphere that's unbelievably effective. Even though this is a retro futuristic world full of goofy Forbidden Planet robots, chunky analog tech that looks like the sort of chrome trimmed shite you'd find in your granny's attic, and vehicles that all look like a cross between a Flash Gordon space rocket and a 1959 Buick LeSabre. It's a similar juxtaposition you get from the Fallout games, where it's a nightmarish apocalyptic wasteland with a jovial Leave It to Beaver aesthetic that, if anything, actually makes the whole thing even more disturbing. So, it's an ambitious project that's frankly taking a lot of risks. It's adapting a fairly niche work of fiction from a genre that isn't exactly known for its casual accessibility, and it's next-gen exclusive, so in order to play it you pretty much need hardware purchased after 2019. I hope that despite those artificial limits on its potential user base, that The Invincible finds an audience, because these days it's not often that we see this level of faith in the power of a good creative idea. This is a challenging work that is therefore challenging to market, a task made all the easier if the full game is as good as the potential on display here.
It's more than just seeing corpses. I'm starting to understand what the death of these people was like.
I've been Jim Trinker for VG247, and you should definitely like and subscribe, because if you don't, you smell. Check out the website, check out the podcast, check it all out. Check it out like it's Supermarket Sweet, man. I'll speak to you later.